morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about vision boards and checking in with our goals. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I'm Picket Fence.
All right, so you got the Mindfulness Minute for us to kick it all off?
Sure do. Are you someone that is always late or in a hurry to get to a place? It may be time to make some changes that will transform your life. Mindful planning is the process of dreaming big, allowing yourself to go a little wild, and then seeing how you can take small, intimate action steps. Let me say that again. Small, intimate action steps that will bring you closer to your goal. Planning out your day, your week, your month are crucial. It is very crucial in making sure that you're spending the optimal amount of time pursuing your goals, along with balancing your day-to-day things that you need to get done. Mindful planning sprouts from the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, simply put, is the act of paying full attention to the present moment. It comes from the Buddhist teachings on strengthening the mind. Another tool that you can incorporate with mindful planning is a vision board. This can be used to present with images that can be a direction you'll like to see your life going in. They're a powerful visual reminder of your dreams and can keep you focused with an actionable plan. So let's talk about some things that you need to do to have a vision board and a planner.
Okay, first of all, I feel personally attacked. You could have gave me a warning that you was going to put me on blast about my lateness. But I'm working on that. But, next time, we could have just did that off camera, okay? I just put that.
If you're working on it, that's what matters. If you work on it, that's what matters.
I'm working on it. Okay, so have you ever created a vision board before? What'd you put on?
Yes. I have a vision board, a current vision board, but I need to work on a new one. On the vision board that I currently have, what I did was I printed out things that I wanted to get. Like I was in the process of building my own like pre-production studio. So I was putting clippings or drawings, printouts of pieces that I wanted to buy. And I put in bold letters, think and it shall be done. And then I put pictures of those items that I wanted to achieve.
So how's that working for you? How's it going? And it's a two-part question. One, how's it going? And two, when you get one of those items, do you take it off the board?
You're supposed to, but I didn't do that for mine. On the small items, the small goals, I pretty much got all the small goals that I wanted to get. I put a couple of big goals that were like really far out there, like the Mindfulness Minute said, things that gives you a chance to be wild. Like I put like a couple of cars that I wanted on there, which I haven't gotten those cars. Okay. But as far as the equipment, I got a majority of the equipment that I wanted. And then the equipment that I didn't get, I don't necessarily need or want that equipment anymore. So that's why I said that it's time to do a new vision board with new goals, new things that I would like to achieve.
Okay, so I have a vision board in my office at work. And it's less of stuff I want, but more like positive quotes, personality quotes, that I want to align myself to be more like. Like one of them, it says, don't let anything cause you to lose focus on your goal. And that's a big thing for me because I tend to get in my feelings about situations and then later realize that those situations aren't serving me for my good and they really are taking me off whatever the goal is, whatever the goal even for that day is. When I'm thinking about, somebody who has wronged me in traffic or wronged me in life, then I can look at my positive quote board and go, it kind of puts things back into perspective. So like I have a quote from Malcolm X that says, even when we is replaced with I, then even illness becomes wellness. And I'm like, I like that. So it really is more of a thought vision board, a thought changing, thought provoking vision board, as opposed to, goals or things that I want. So now in us talking and making boards, I'm definitely going to, look at making a board of things that I want. But that's kind of hard to do because there aren't many things that I want, like tangible things. There's not a lot of that. So I really have to think of what to put on a board.
Well, I don't think there necessarily has to be tangible things. I think yours is dope because as humans and on this flight of self-care, you want to become a better thinker. You want to think more positive. You want to think about wellness. So those are great things to have on a vision board. Positive thoughts, positive affirmations, mantras, and especially, like I say, it's in your classroom, somewhere that you're going to see every day, pretty much most of the day, so that you can keep that going on. That's one thing that's important about a vision board, is having it be visible. Something that you would see, if not multiple times a day, at least once a day maybe on the way, something in the bathroom mirror, or something on the doorway next to your door when you're leaving the house. So you go out the house with focus, intentions. Or maybe, I know no one's put something on the outside of the house, but something's coming and going so that you can always see it. Maybe something on the TV, so that even before you fall into that rabbit hole of Netflix and Hulu, you can look at your goals. And instead of watching an action movie, you might watch a documentary that's going to help you get towards your goal. That's going to give you information to help you get towards your goal. So I think having that in your room is very dope. Very dope.
Yeah. So I like that. I guess there are a couple things that I want, they're tangible but not tangible. So career goals or educational goals. So on my new vision board, I'll put those things on there along with the positive quotes. I found this awesome website, and it has a plethora of positive quotes and mindfulness quotes. And then I got books for Christmas, that focus on mindfulness. So I'm definitely gonna put some quotes out of there to put on on my vision board. So with that, we both talked about our own vision boards. Is there a wrong way to do a vision board?
I don't think that there's a wrong way, technically a wrong way. I think that you can find a million different ways on the internet of making a vision board and things that you should put on there and ways to do it. You just have to, the main focus of it is to have the imagery of a goal or an accomplishment that you would like to reach, and you want it to be visible, so it can give you imagery of your goal. Because sometimes, which we're going to talk about, planners are real great. Usually notebooks, or most people do them on apps on their phone now. But I think having a small notebook, which I have a small notebook that I use for my planner, which is not more, I would say, an execution book, where I had a small book to fit in my pocket. And what I would do at the end of the day was write down what I did for progress of something that I wanted to do. Like when I was trying to, get in shape, I would come home at the end of the day and say, hey, I walked 10 laps today. Or, when I was promoting the podcast, I would say, hey, I handed out 50 flyers and hung up 10 posters, but I like to say, I know most people don't carry notebooks anymore. You can put that on your phone. But what I was saying is that, on your phone, you might not open up your notes. Or if you have a notebook, you might not open up your notebook. I think with a vision board, made the right size and put it in a very, very visual spot, something that you're going to see, like I said, the mirror, by your TV, next to your door, leaving the house, something that's going to be like, bam, a slap in the face, a reminder, an image reminder.
Yeah, I think placement is everything. Like they have a saying in real estate where they say location, location, location. So the same goes for, a vision board or, positive quotes. it does have to be something that you can look at in a way to kind of check in, with yourself at even different times of the day. If it's, you put it in a spot where you're going to walk by it often. We had a self-care assignment about a month ago that said post positive affirmations to yourself on your bathroom mirror on a sticky note, and then change them out every week. So every Sunday night or Saturday afternoon when you're sitting bored with nothing to do, write some of those things down. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am perfect. I am an imperfect being having a perfect experience. So you see it every day. It does become concrete. And there is something about writing things down. It is great to have things in your phone, but like you said, you might not even open that app on your phone. But actually writing things down makes it a muscle memory for your brain, and it makes it a visual correlation because you're writing it down, and it makes you more apt to want to achieve it because you've written it down. You can see it. It becomes a concrete thought, both in your mind and in your hand, so to speak. And then one of my favorite self-care assignments that I actually still do every week is on Monday morning. I write down my goals for the whole week, like especially if it's work related. And every time I, crush one of those goals, I cross it off. So there's power even in being able to look and see things crossed off on your list, because it lets you know that you are moving and you are making progress. And then the greatest feeling is at the end of the week when I look and I see all these scratched out lines where I've achieved my goals for the week. I ball it up and throw it away. And that is like a great feeling, because a lot of times it feels like a weight has been lifted off of me because I got all of this stuff accomplished, in a short amount of time. When you figure a work week is only 5 days. So to accomplish this much stuff in a short amount of time is really a boost to the ego and to the self-esteem. And it gives you the power to want to keep going, because that feeling, it feeds your brain. It releases those feel-good hormones that you've done something good for yourself that maybe your future self is going to thank you for as you've crushed these goals, whatever those goals may be. It can only be for, the good and the benefit of you for your future, or even the future of your family. So for me, it's just an amazing feeling on Friday when I leave work and I tear off that sheet from Monday and throw it away and start over with a new set of goals for the new week. For me, it's a really, really good feeling.
Yeah, I would think so. I would definitely think so. And I think that's a great idea of tearing away, balling up. I've got this done, because I know throughout the day, everyone's like, oh, I didn't get this done. I didn't accomplish this. I wish I could have did this, but being able to check off, I did this, I did this, I did that, I got this done. I may not have gotten everything done, but look how much I did get done, so that you leave yourself with a positive thought that, hey, I didn't get everything done, but look at all that I did get done, especially if it's on your plans. I mean, because there's always going to be something extra, like you pops in your mind, like, oh, I got to run here, I got to do this. But being able to make a check mark on things that you needed to get done, that's always going to feel great.
Yeah, I like it. And so we talked before when we did our show about, goal setting. And, your mindfulness minute said to go wild with, what you put on your vision board. Should there be a limit to how wild you go? Should, so like what you put on your vision board, should it be realistic?
I think it should be a combination of the both. I think that, and anyone that talks about goal setting, you have short-term goals and you have long-term goals. I don't know how wild a person would get, but like I had those cars on mine. I'm not able to achieve the cars that I wanted yet, but I still want those cars. So I don't think that it's too wild, but I'm able to really grab at those short-term goals. Those are very attainable. I think that you should always set high goals and low goals for yourself.
Okay. I think that, I definitely can agree with that, because a lot of times when we think of goal setting, we do think so far, in advance that we forget to think about the right here and the right now. And then sometimes we do the opposite, but we get so focused on the right here and the right now that we forget, you got a future. You got a 5-year, 10-year, 6-year. And even if you did your goals, this is my 2-year goal. As long as it's something that you can achieve, I say go for it.
Yeah, definitely go for it.
Yeah, I like that.
So talking about goals and vision boards and mindfulness, we at our first show for the top of the year, we set some, we talked about goals that we would have to, that we wanted to achieve throughout the year. So how is that going for you with your 3 goals?
It's actually going pretty good. I've been making healthier eating choices. I've been avoiding some of my usual go-to guilty pleasures. Even today, as a matter of fact, I really wanted the boneless chicken and macaroni and cheese for lunch. And instead of having that, I opted for a salad and then washed it down with some water. So with this bottle I have now, I'm now on my 3rd bottle of water for the day, which I know is not ideal, but I'm taking baby steps to increase my water. The problem, with getting in more water is that I'm not thirsty. So it's not like I'm drinking juice or pop or something. I'm just not thirsty, so I'm not drinking anything. So really getting this water in me is a struggle because I'm just not thirsty. And the less I talk, the less thirsty I am, So, right. But the getting healthier is, that's working pretty well. I'm in the middle of a self-paced class that I'm taking to get another certification. So I'm moving on that goal. I didn't do any work on it today. I plan to do some work on it tomorrow because it's self-paced, and that's kind of like the hard part. I wish it was almost like you have to log in every day for a certain amount of time because it kind of forced me to do it. But I'm halfway through. I'm on week 3 of a 6-week program. So it's not too bad. I have been happier. I've been focusing on the happy in the situation so as not to, get down and depressed about it. I was able to make it through my dad's birthday, which I thought was going to be a lot harder, than what it ended up being. And after I got these, great things from my mom, it really eased me a whole lot. So that made me happier to be able to make her happy. So being positive, try not to let those negative thoughts linger. I still have them, but not letting them linger has really been beneficial. So they creep up. And then when they creep in, I'm like, okay, you've had your 5 minutes to think about that and be negative and be whatever. Now it's time to move on. How you going to fix it? So what, now what? So you have this issue, now what? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to change your mindset? So far, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Sweet. I would say I'm doing good so far. Like I said, a couple of my goals were, kind of depending, like studio recording. Still not able to record, but I'm still writing, working on new material, digging for samples that I want to use. So once that I'm able to get in the studio, it's just going to be like a beast in there. Like I said, I want to dump a lot of stuff out this year. So hopefully that will start taking place like next month, as far as the recording part, so that I can just drop a lot of stuff. The book is going pretty good. I'm working on the self-care chapter of the book every day. I've worked on it since we did our show. So I'm trying to decide of how much of the self-care chapter would be. I'm thinking like I might do like 30 days of self-care. So that'll be just a chapter on self-care. But like I said, I've been working on that part of it every day. So that's been going good. And then my 3rd goal, like I said, that's going to be about the consistency of us doing the show, and when I feel like we really, we've been on it, then I'm approach the first party that I was talking about, that I want to approach about having the show be part of the network. And so I'm saying it's going good.
Okay, so me and I was just thinking about it. I've added a goal actually to my list. My a good friend of mine that you introduced me to actually owns her own magazine, and so I freelance write for her magazine. So okay. I wrote an article for the January issue, and so I added to my goal list to write for her more often. So I'm going to try to produce one article a week and then just send it to her, and then she can use them wherever she has space for them in the magazine. So if she ever gets into a pinch, where she's, short a story or two, then she'll have some of my stories, on deck ready to publish.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Shout out to Speak Woman Magazine.
Speak Woman Magazine and Shanta Campbell. Yeah, she's
Word up.
always positive, always, willing to support. So I support her in return. Our mantra and motto is always support those who support you. And she definitely supports. So I, definitely support her back, by writing for her, contributing to, her magazine in any way that I can. Like, I want to see her magazine blow up. So I'm going to do whatever I can to, help make that happen for her.
Dope. I've added a goal too, which I said is always a goal, especially when you get, my age, just trying to be in better shape, which eating has always been, for the last couple of years, I've eaten pretty well. The hardest part is for me has been exercising and getting in a good exercise routine. So 5 days a week for the last week, I've done what they call a first step in yoga. It's called sun salutation. I've been doing that 5 days a week, just trying to get a real good stretch in the morning. When you get our age, it's really important to stretch in morning and night if you have the time, but especially in the morning, to get a good stretch. I've been drinking a cup of warm lime water every morning also. It's not the best tasting, but...
And what does that do? What is the health benefit of that?
Purifies your blood. It helps alkaline your blood. And they always say that you should have water first thing in the morning, but that lime adds that extra kick, because even if you're drinking bottled water, it's still tap water. They got it from somebody's tap. So, that lime or lemon, you could do both, but a lime or a lemon helps alkaline the water. And if you really want to put a boost on that, I would suggest drinking it out of a copper cup, which really has a lot of benefits. You can look that up, the benefits out of drinking out of a copper cup. It has a lot of health benefits. So lime, warm, almost like a cup of coffee, warm, hot water with a fresh squeezed lime.
Yeah,
so that's just one thing. And one thing that I'm going to start incorporating, which today is Monday. I should have started today, but it was a holiday, is a salad a day. Shout out to TK and the AM. They started me on that a couple years ago. And something that not just during the campaign, we should probably do that every day anyway, is to have a fresh green salad a day. So I'm going to be doing that, to increase even eating better than I am, is make sure I have a salad a day, that warm lime water, and getting in some exercise. So that's going to be the goal that I've added on, is to really, really get on this health and fitness, because that's a part of self-care.
It definitely is. I had a salad today, and the salad today is a great challenge. I will caution anybody though that decides to join us on a salad today, be careful what you put on your salad. Those things taste good, but they kind of take away from the health benefits of the salad when you're piling on so much stuff. And be mindful of the kind of dressing you use and how much you use. Oil and vinegar is best, or any oil-based dressing. Italian, all of the vinaigrettes are really good for you. I know most
I like
people...
the olive oil and vinegar is that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I can't do the olive oil and vinegar totally. I can mix it with like sweet and sour dressing, and then it's not, that the vinegar doesn't, become overpowered. So I'm working on that part. But I'm not, I know everybody, ranch dressing is a thing. You can have light ranch.
That's not good for you. Yeah, I would go light. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Light would be better for you. Yeah, or if you ghetto like me, if you super ghetto like me, just put hot sauce on it.
Ew!
I do that sometimes too. When I run out of the olive and vinegar, I'll just throw hot sauce on it. Throw some hot sauce and some cayenne on it, and eat it ghetto style, base style.
No. I can't. No, sir.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I'd rather eat my salad dry with nothing before I
I
hot
actually
sauce.
saw somebody eating a salad dry, like the I don't even think it was a whole salad. It was like the box of baby spinach or whatever. They were
Mm-hmm.
just walking, eating it out the. Nah, I thought that was a little extreme. I mean, unless you had a gallon of water with you, but he was just eating it out the. Like it was a bag of chips. Well, maybe that's what he was doing, was tricking his mind to think of it as like a bag of chips. I don't know. I didn't ask him. I just thought it looked kind of different.
Yeah, that is
Maybe.
kind of different. Now I do,
Yeah.
when I'm making a salad, I will kind of like munch along the way, but that's still different than like eating the baby spinach like potato chips. I'm
Right.
not there yet.
Now you talked about piling on your salad. What do you put on your salad typically?
Um, it's not good for you, but I do use cheese. Some diced chicken is always nice. I love honey roasted almond slices, and then depending on my mood, I'll use dried cranberries with the almond. Egg is optional, like, but it has to be cut up. Like, I don't want a whole egg, and I don't want like a half an egg. I want it cut up really small, finely chopped and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love spinach over lettuce. I mean, I've eaten lettuce salads, and when I buy like the pre-made salads, they come with lettuce, but I'd prefer if I could get a pre-made salad from the store and it had a spinach base instead of a lettuce base. That would just be like the ultimate salad for me. So chicken, cheese, almonds, spinach, sweet and sour dressing, maybe with a dab of ranch, so it's not as sweet. Because the sweet and sour it's kind of sweet, but the ranch kind of takes away some of the sweetness, so it gives a really nice balance. I do like some of the vinaigrettes. Like, I like the raspberry vinaigrette, but I don't use too much of that. I do like Italian. I like Italian better though as a marinade for my baked chicken as opposed to on my salad, because sometimes it's too salty. So yeah, so I mean, that would be like my ideal salad. What's your ideal salad?
My ideal salad, typical salad, is I like kale, kale, spinach. If I have lettuce, prefer romaine lettuce, cucumbers. I like the sliced almonds also. I use the dried cranberries and the dried blueberries. Um, I don't use cheese. I'm like 98% vegan. I do eat cheese, and when it comes to pizza, I can't help it. Vegan cheese is just, it's really not that great. So I do have cheese on my pizza. That's pretty much the only time I do eat cheese. So I don't eat cheese on my salad. Like I said, my favorite dressing is the olive oil and vinegar. If I can't have that, I like Italian, but sometimes it's depending on the brand, it's too salty. So that's why I started putting hot sauce on my salad to kind of kill some of that saltiness, so I can get it down. Because sometimes Italian dressing is real salty. The sweet and sour is pretty good because a little bit goes a long way. Um, so, but yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. So, celery, but I mean, celery is just every once in a while. But celery is also good in a salad, especially because it doesn't have calories. So if you're looking to get more full, I would suggest throwing celery in your salad.
I could do celery, and if I could get them cut up really, really small, I
Yeah,
could do some
definitely,
tomato.
definitely.
Yeah, like I could.
Oh yeah, tomato. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
like
about tomato. I love tomato on my salad.
you. I hate raw tomatoes. I do like salsa, so I'm kind of weird in that way. But if the tomatoes are cut up, diced really small, then I could eat them on my salad. I could do cherry tomatoes, but I have to like wrap them in some spinach with some dressing and hurry up and shove it in my mouth and pretend like I don't know that it's a tomato, because raw tomatoes are just ew. But yeah,
I don't think that it's weird that you don't like raw tomatoes and you do like salsa, because that's not the same thing. It's salsa tastes different than eating just a raw tomato. It's just like Our daughter always says that, how do I like tomatoes but I don't like ketchup? I hate ketchup. I've never liked ketchup. I mean, even as a little kid, I mean, I would eat it when I ate McDonald's because it was already on there, but I absolutely do not like ketchup at all. I don't like it on my fries. I don't like it on a sandwich. I had a friend who used to put it on pizza. Once he did that, I just didn't even want to eat any more pizza. Even if it wasn't on my piece, it was disgusting. That's
I
how much I do
struggle.
not like ketchup.
I struggle with watching people put ketchup on eggs. Ketchup, I don't know.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I know, like, people like it, just like, and like our daughter eats syrup on her eggs, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. But yeah, ketchup on eggs. Ketchup doesn't go on everything. It goes on fries, and that's it. Maybe on the top of meatloaf, but I haven't
It
had
doesn't
meatloaf.
even go on fries. It doesn't even go on fries. And what's better if you do eat meatloaf is to use barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
meatloaf in years, though.
Try it. If you're a meatloaf person, try using barbecue sauce instead of using ketchup.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's just something about the ketchup, though. It's like a family tradition. Grandma put ketchup on her meatloaf, so did mama, so did auntie. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm willing to
My
try
mom
it.
didn't put ketchup on hers. What we had was the old school Lipton soup package. Put that in there, smush up the ground beef, and then get the cheese cubes and stick that in there as you form in a loaf. So it's almost like a cheeseburger meatloaf.
Yeah,
That was a long time ago. I haven't eaten meat in 20-something years, so but that's how we used to have it with the Lipton soup mix, cheese cubes, a little bit of barbecue sauce. That's all you need.
Well, if I make a turkey meatloaf or something, I could try that. But I also, haven't eaten meat in over 20 years. So yeah, chicken, turkey, and fish, but that's not meat. So yeah.
To some people.
To some people, right? Like I'm not quite ready to go full vegetarian. I'm making healthier choices, and
that's what it's
part
about.
of my goal. But yeah, I can't give up chicken yet, and I can't give up cheese. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready.
That's fine. Well, looks like we're about that time in the show where we let a little bass drop. Boom, 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 boom. Brain science.
All right, so this week's brain science goes with what we were talking about for Mindfulness Minute and for our self-care assignment for this week, which is to make a vision board. So this is the brain science behind why vision boards work. And then I'll give you some brief tips on how to make one. So creating a sacred space that displays what you want actually does bring it to life. What we focus on expands. When you create a vision board and place it in a space where you see it often, you essentially end up doing short visualization exercises throughout your day. Visualization is one of the most powerful mind exercises you can do. According to the popular book, The Secret, which I love, the law of attraction is forming your entire life experience, and it is doing that through your thoughts. When you are visualizing, you are emitting a powerful frequency out into the universe. So whether you believe it or not, visualization does work. People have used it for decades. So, what's the big secret behind creating a vision board that works? First of all, your vision board should focus on how you want to feel, not just on things that you want. It's great to include material stuff too. However, the more your board focuses on how you want to feel, the more it will come to life. So here are a few tips for your vision board. The first question that I often get asked a lot is, what should I put on my vision board? Anything that inspires and motivates you. The purpose of your vision board is to bring everything on it to life. So first, think about your goals in the following areas: relationships, career, finances, home, travel, personal growth, including spirituality, social life, education, and health. You don't have to cover each area the exact same. It could be a little of this and a little of that, as long as it is meaningful to you. Should I have a main vision board or a bunch of small ones for different areas of my life? That part is up to you. It can be time consuming to create a different vision board for each aspect of your life. So if you're a person who is short on time, I would suggest making one board that incorporates all those things. Now, on your board, you can separate it into categories, or you can kind of place them at random. Me personally, my board is placed at random, and that's because at any given moment, one part may catch my eye versus another part, and there'll be two different things as opposed to being in the same category or area of my life. So the other big question is, how often should I redo my vision board? So this is for you, Pickett. Whenever it feels right. Leave a blank space on your vision board so you can accept new things as they appear in your life so that you can add them and rearrange your board as you see fit. Every 3 to 4 months, you may want to update your board, or sooner if you accomplish those goals. So basic things that you're going to need for your vision board: a cork board, a poster board, some big space, or maybe not even big space, but something that is the size that you need for what you're going to put on it. You definitely need scissors, tape, and glue. Markers, if you want to decorate and draw little pictures or squigglies or doodles in between, that's always great. If you hand write some of your goals that you want, that also helps to make them more concrete. You can pull pictures from the internet, from magazines, from different sources to put on your vision board. It's stuff that, the most important thing is stuff that you want to look at every day. So photos, quotes, sayings, images of places that you want to go, even reminders of places that you've been that you really enjoyed that maybe you want to, go back to. The biggest part is time. Give yourself a stress-free hour or two to put your board together. If you are a social butterfly, you can invite your friends over and make a party out of it. Host a vision board party with your friends with snacks, your favorite drinks, maybe some wine, maybe not wine, whatever you prefer, and have fun. You may even find that sitting with friends to make your vision board, you can bounce ideas off of one another and help each other make your goals more concrete. The goal is to have fun and not be stressed as you create your vision. When you go to actually make your board, set the mood. Turn off the TV, turn on some relaxing music, light a candle or incense, and clear your space. When it comes to actually putting stuff on your board, leave a space between each item, because if it's cluttered, it's going to cloud your mind. It's going to make it more of a burden to look at than it is a help. So if you want some things to overlap, that's fine. But traditionally, you want to give each thing its own space to kind of breathe and be there in its space. So as for choosing what makes the final cut that goes on your board, lay everything out before you start gluing and pinning so you get an idea of where you want everything to be. The biggest of them all is to have fun and to know that there is no wrong way to do.
Word up.
Word up. So vision board party. Are you inviting me to your party, or you're coming to my party?
You always either way, but you're always invited to my party.
Okay.
Always invited to my party. Yeah, let's do it, man. We got poster board.
We do.
Might need to print out some, things, but even if you have to go through a magazine, and cut out magazines. Go to websites and just print them out. If you have a printer, I know a lot of people don't have printers nowadays, but if you do, just print them out. Like I said, go to a magazine, use the newspaper clippings, sales papers, sales catalogs, whatever you need to do to find those images that you would like to have as a focus point.
I like it. So we're going to make our vision board. We know the hows, the whys, the whats. We are going to share our vision boards once we complete them so that you can see them, and it may spark an idea for you. Before we go, don't forget to send us your goals for 2021 to be entered into our drawing to win a self-care prize pack. Thank you to everyone so far who has sent in your goals. We have received them, and your name is in the hat. The lucky winner could be you.
Word.
All right, so you can find us on SoundCloud, on YouTube, all social media platforms and wherever you get your favorite podcast. You can always email us at flywithusla@gmail.com. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I am Picket Fence.
We out of here.
Peace.